As-salatu was-salam, as-salatu was-salam.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasul Kareem. Today we're going to talk about the testimony of faith, and very quickly I'll go over the first two conditions as a review, and then we'll go to the new ones. The conditions are understood based on the understanding that Rasul told us that Maftah al-Jannah, the key to enter paradise, is La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And so, as one of the scholars, Wahab ibn Munabbah, when he was asked, isn't Maftah al-Jannah or La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, he said, Na'am, lakin likulli muftahin asnan. Yes, but to every key is teeth. With the understanding that key has teeth, that means the Shahada has conditions. And so it is these conditions then that in Islam we have to be aware of for our Shahada to be practiced, to be complete, and to be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the first of this condition is al-ilm, which is knowledge. So that means one must have general basic knowledge of the Shahada, of course, and one must understand why they are affirming to the Shahada. And it comes from the actual statement. When you say Ashhadu, you're bearing witness. When you bear witness, that means you have knowledge to that which you are bearing witness to. But it also comes from an ayah in the Quran that says فَعْلَمُوا أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. That so know, he's talking to the Rasul Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, but it also is telling us, of course, as Muslims, that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the condition of al-ilm, it is the condition of knowledge that everyone must have and practice. Also from the hadith of the Rasul that says, whoever dies knowing that there is none worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shall enter al-Jannah. And this is recorded in the collection of hadith by Imam Muslim. So like we already said, the Shahada itself is a testifying. If you testify, like when you go to a court of law, you testify as a witness, you have knowledge of whatever that incident is and whatever happened. That is why you're called, because of your knowledge, to talk about that particular matter. And the Shahada is very much in that regard the same way. The other thing that we talked about is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, that those who bear witness to the truth, and إِلَّا مَنْ شَهِدَ بِالْحَقِّ, except those who bear witness to the truth knowingly. So these words that you will keep hearing, know, knowing, knowledge, they come back again and again in the Quran, and they re-emphasize the condition of al-ilm. And so we said about the testifying, which requires knowledge. And what is this knowledge about? It is about Islam specifically, what Allah and His Messenger ﷺ have taught us. Whatever it is that He has taught us, whatever the Sahabas have taught us as well from their practice of Islam. And so these are what we understood about the knowledge of Islam that we must study. So one must make an effort. You just cannot go about your life every day without paying attention to these things. You have to pay attention, and you have to make an effort to study. We also said about Fard al-Ain, and this is an individual duty. The fuqaha, they consider whatever is Fard al-Ain as it relates to the tasks that every Muslim has to perform. The responsibility of every Muslim, an individual. All of us are supposed to practice as-salah. The sisters have to wear the hijab. We have to go to Hajj. We have to do all these things in Islam that are part of Arkan al-Islam. So these are from al-wajib al-ain. That means Fard al-ain, every individual must know the details of how to pray, how to do Hajj, how to fast, and so on and so forth. So one must have this general and basic knowledge about Islam, compulsory on each and every one of us. And it is not acceptable in Islam that you live your lives. Now we are born Muslims. Those who are converting to Islam later on in their lives, they even have a bigger challenge because they have to learn Islam at an older age. If you were born into Islam as Muslims, and as Muslim, whoever is born into Islam must grow up learning these things and knowing enough about them to where they can live their lives as Muslims. Then we talked about Fard al-Kifaya or Wajib al-Kifaya. And in this we are saying there is sufficiency in the duty. What we mean is that the duty is imposed on the whole community. A few individuals in that community, if they fulfill that obligation, not everyone needs to do it. For example, if there are 200,000 Muslims living in a town or a city, then some of us have to be doctors, some of us have to be engineers, some of us have to do agriculture, some of us have to be sanitation and water engineers, some of us must know how to build buildings, some of us must know how to build roads, because Muslims need all these in their life. Nobody lives on trees, nobody lives without eating or drinking water, nobody lives without getting sick. So you need these services. So Muslims must be available to serve other Muslims in these areas, and not everybody needs to be this particular profession. Not everybody is needed to be a doctor if 3 or 4 or 5 people are doctors. But what does this mean? It also means that if none of you are these individuals and you live in large numbers in a city, then that means the ulama, they say, in every day of your lives, the entire community, a sin is written for you. So this is serious, all right? We don't want to ignore this. A sin is written for you because nobody is paying attention to serving the ummah and the community by taking these specialties. That is why this knowledge is not ulumuddin and ulumudunya. It's about al-wajib al-ayn and wajib al-kifaya. So keep that in mind when you consider knowledge. The second condition is al-yaqeen. And this is the condition of certainty, and it's the opposite of having doubt. For example, in Islam, when you have any doubt, this is considered the equivalence of disbelief or kufr. So in our hearts, we must be absolutely certain to the truth of the shahada. And our hearts cannot be shaky and waver away from this statement of La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. The al-yaqeen also comes with, all these conditions, by the way, have evidence in the Quran. Like in this particular one, it says, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا وَجَاهَدُوا بِأَمْوَالِهِمْ وَأَنفُسِهِمْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الصَّادِقُونَ. And this is an understanding in the Arabic language when you use innama. And innama is an exclusive clause, and it means that only those, that means not everybody belongs to this understanding or this particular ayah, which says only those are the believers who have believed in Allah and His Messenger, and after that they don't have any doubt. And then when they now have no doubt, then they are able to strive with their wealth and their lives for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that only these are the truthful ones. So this is from Surah Al-Hujurat. So what did the Rasul say? The hadith that supports this particular understanding of the second condition of the Shahada is that no one meets Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the testimony of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and after that has no doubt about this statement, except that this individual will be one who will enter Al-Jannah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those that have al-yaqeen, and among those that will enter Al-Jannah with